Why are Arsenal so difficult to beat this season? This isn't just about their form or confidence or even good players. It's the structure, control, and what they do without the ball. Most teams start defending after they lose possession, but Arsenal are actually defending even when they are attacking. So when the opposition thinks that they have a counter attack going on, they actually don't. It's not just about the hype, it's about the structure, the control, and the repeatable behavior that they are carrying on throughout the season. So of course there is a bigger idea over here. It is not just Arsenal are playing well. There is a macro level strategy that goes into their system which they are following right now, and this is something that I like to call controlled dominance. Now these two words together don't mean that much. In fact, they are actually contradictory. But here is the meaning of controlled dominance. Arsenal want to minimize the risk during the attack, during the defense, and attacking and defensive transitions. And they want to do it while dominating everywhere on the pitch. Where most of the teams try to win by creating a lot of chaos, Arsenal try to win by actually removing and minimizing the chaos. And therefore they control where the game happens and how fast the game is moving in that scenario. To make this entire system possible, there are three pillars on which they work. The first one is their defensive structure, the second one is the zonal dominance that they have, and the third one is their set piece threat. When you combine these pillars together, they form a very solid structure against which it is extremely difficult to score. Let's talk about the defensive structure. Arsenal have conceded 3 goals in the 14 matches that they have played with 11 clean sheets. But I'm not here to tell you about the numbers. I want to tell you why they are able to do it. Defending is not what just happens inside your own half and how players are defending the crosses or opposition's final third attacks. Defending starts the moment opposition has the ball. So instead of talking about defense in the traditional way, we will divide this as defense in 3 parts, that is the attacking third, the middle third, and the final third, so that we have an understanding of how they are defending in each third of the field. Arsenal press with a lot of intensity in the final third. They move together and every opponent is usually marked. Even in this situation, you see almost all the passing options are blocked. Now let's say that the ball is being played on the left wing. Arsenal have one strategy, that is to press intensely and block all the passing lanes which are available in this area, so that the defender who is on the ball usually only has 2 options, either to go long or pass the ball back to the goalkeeper. Now usually in this kind of situation, when the opposition is going long, Arsenal win the ball back. In this situation, we see that Arsenal have blocked all the left-sided passing options for Atletico. So Atletico has to go back to the centre back. We see the centre back receiving this pass. Now this ball is played to the left back. Now he does this good trick over here and he is able to get away from Saka. But what happens is that again he does not have any other option because all the passing options are blocked by Arsenal players. He has to go back to centre back and Jimenez tries to play a long ball over here and Arsenal win the ball back. Again, in this example, we see that Arsenal players have blocked all the passing options which are available towards the central area. So the left back has to go long in this case and he tries to do so. Arsenal win the possession back again and immediately launch another counter attack. So this is the basic idea behind their pressing structure. They don't just want to block the passing options, they want to win the ball back and launch a counter attack immediately. In the middle third, this is how they line up. They line up in a 4-4-2 structure with Eze, who is the number 10 for Arsenal. He forms the first defensive line alongside Victor Gyökeres. Now here, if the opposition winger needs to get into the final third to launch an attack, first he needs to get past Saka over here, then the fullback, that is Timber, and Arsenal wingers track back. They have a lot of work ethic. They work, they defend, they don't switch off throughout the game. Now even if a player reaches final third, he has to face Saliba and Gabriel in the box, and honestly they are the best centre back duo present right now. Put together, this is a very difficult structure to beat and to score against. Now look at this defensive transition for Arsenal. Here Tyrick Mitchell wins the ball against Saka. So they want to block the passing lanes for the nearest guy or press the nearest guy who will receive this pass. Now this gives them enough time to get back in a good defensive shape and make things difficult for the opposition. And that's exactly what we see here. Tyrick Mitchell gives the pass to this player. Now he is immediately getting pressed by 3 players, and Zubimendi wins the ball back over here. Now this is not just luck, this is pure structural and organized gameplay with a lot of dedication and a lot of work rate. The second pillar is zonal dominance. Now here is an interesting stat. The blue areas mean Arsenal had more dominance over there. The pink one means the opposition had more dominance. We see there are 3 pink areas. That means out of the entire field, there is just tiny bit of 10% portion in which Arsenal are not dominating the game. The grey ones are basically dominated by either of the teams. Now here's the interesting thing. Now look at Arsenal's dominance near their own area. 63, 67, 76, 73, 61. This is hugely dominated. And in these areas we see 53%, 50%, 50% and again 49%. So basically even in this image, the neutral color that you are able to see over here, which is grey, most of these areas are also dominated by Arsenal. This shows that their strategy is to control almost all the areas of the field, and they are successfully able to do so. Now here is another interesting thing. In this build-up, we see Zubimendi is the deepest lying midfielder. In this image, we see Eze is the deepest lying midfielder. Again in this match, on a completely different situation, Eze is the one who is the deepest lying midfielder. In this image, we see that Declan Rice is the deepest lying midfielder. Now in this situation, you cannot man mark either of these midfielders. Not only this, there is a lot of movement of Eze throughout the field to receive the ball, as well as left back and Declan Rice changing their positions to make build-up even more unpredictable. Now here is another interesting thing about their build-up. This actually looks like an attacking transition for Arsenal, and see what they try to do. So Trossard gets the ball back in this area and gives the ball to Calafiori. Now instead of attacking, he decides to go back. Saka receives the ball back here. He is not in rush to play the ball long or to cross the ball. And seconds later, he ends up winning this free kick, from which they actually end up scoring. And that brings us to the third pillar, which is set piece threat. Now I am no one to fully analyze Arsenal's set piece threat, because quite honestly, nobody in the world has been able to do that. But there are 3 things which are common when it comes to set pieces. All the deliveries that they are putting in the box, they are inch perfect. In this clip, we see that there are 4 Arsenal players who are making this movement, which is very difficult to predict, and they end up scoring this goal. Now here is another set piece. Now Crystal Palace are able to get the ball out, but Zubimendi is positioned so well and he immediately launches another attack. So this minimizes all the conceding risk from a set piece. Again in this clip, there is unpredictable movement, absolute banger of a delivery, excellent header. You just cannot defend against this. The set piece threat combined with zonal dominance creates good enough opportunity for Arsenal players to put on a good attack as well as minimize the risk. When you combine these pillars together, they form a very solid structure against which it is extremely difficult to score. Every part of the game is controlled and every phase of the game is dominated by Arsenal. This is why they are extremely difficult to score against. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do let me know. I'll see you in the next one.